What's going on, everyone? Today is your midweek review. It is May 30th. I know we're a day late. That is okay. Markets are still moving, and so are we. I will go ahead and start with what is going on with regards to news tomorrow because it's the last day of the week. It is Friday. So tomorrow on Friday, we have at 8:30 a core PCE price index month on month being released. And then at 9:45, we have a Chicago PMI, and then that is it to end the week. So we obviously are on Thursday. We've only got one more day of price action. Hopefully, you have been somewhat insightful in what has been going on. I know we were not here in front of you guys tomorrow, but I know that we talked a little bit in the chat on what we were kind of expecting, and that did hit today with regards to that weekly BISI at 621 and a half being hit. So hopefully you caught that. I will go ahead and hop into dollar really quick. Henry, you tell me when I'm good.
All set.
Okay, so dollar on a weekly, we have been ranging, right? We've basically been using this BISI as inversion for the most part. Nothing too crazy. Kind of been wicking it as we've closed back below it, using it as inversion. I still like the draw to be down here at 103,880, and then more so the equilibrium of this entire range in here, as well as the rest of this BISI. But for the most part, it's stuck in a range, and I'm allowing it to be stuck in a range. So as I sit here and I look at this, when I'm looking at indices, right, and Henry will get into it, but I see indices maybe dropping a little bit more. So with that being said, I'm looking at this SIBI in here, and I'm seeing how we could potentially use it as inversion. We could rise from it a little bit, and then from there, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, right? We've got from this high to this low, we have price kind of just balancing in and out in and around that premium. So there's really nothing to say or do on dollar, kind of in a range, kind of just going to let it be in its range. Indices are moving fine with it in its range, so I'm totally fine just kind of letting it do its thing. My main thing is to see if we find displacement away, either to the upside or to the downside. If we close back below the downside, I'd like to see dollar continue lower. If we do get back above this SIBI and see that we've clearly used it as inversion and we see displacement to the upside, then I'm totally fine viewing it to the upside as well. I'm kind of just neutral on it. I don't really have any hard bias on it at all. I'm kind of just letting it do its thing. It's not showing anything. It's not really displacing. So if it's not showing me anything, I'm just not going to take it wholeheartedly and not carry any weight to it. Just kind of let it do its thing. I'd like to see where it displaces, and either way, it doesn't really matter. And with that, going into Henry's segment, I'd like to see where indices are when it does do that, right? That's the main thing, is understanding where dollar, when it does start to displace, where is the indices? What are they doing? Where are they at? That's the main thing, right? Just because dollar's held in a range doesn't necessarily mean the indices will not necessarily run, which is what we've seen so far. And really, that's it. Just kind of stand still right now on dollar, nothing too crazy. Really just keeping indices being the dominant runner of whatever direction it really clearly looks like it is. And then once dollar does choose to displace either way, whether it's up or down, then from there we can start to really get more low resistance liquidity runs. But today was a really good day of price action, and I will let Henry kind of talk over that. So Henry, it is all yours.
Okay. We'll just look at, start with ES and NASDAQ here, and then we can take a look at kind of the weekly profile that we've been seeing, look at NASDAQ and just see how that's played out today to kind of wrap up the framework for the week. But starting with ES here, first thing you want to know is starting on the monthly charts, as tomorrow will be the last day of May. You can see that there's 22 hours or 23 hours left of trading here ahead of the monthly close. So we do want to see where we get candle closure here. And that can give us an early indication of what the following month could potentially do as we head into June. If we drop down to a weekly chart, and you can already see that I have this low and this high marked out here, not really swing points yet as we haven't had the third candle close, but just noting those as the external range here. So if you drop to a weekly, it's a little bit clearer. The lows down here, and then of course the buy side up here. In this move down, this is a really shallow swing low right there, and we did purge the sell side and then the buy side here, defining a new dealing range. And so if we are going to continue working through discount areas right here, I'm interested in seeing if we do have a bit of a deeper decline back toward a discount of the range. Okay, so if we're not immediately showing displacement back to the upside, I am going to have my eye on the equilibrium of the range right here. You can see that we do have another imbalance below in the form of a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. We've delivered the buy side and have yet to deliver the sell side. So we could see price continue to gravitate lower down into this imbalance and to a discount. And the first discount array that you see below equilibrium would be this volume imbalance and the imbalance here. Okay, so I just want to see it, if we do make an effort to continue gravitating lower, is there displacement on the lower time frames, the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour? And if so, I just want to keep following along with that down toward equilibrium and use this as an objective. Okay. On the daily, not a whole lot really to touch on the daily. We did get a nice classic expansion this week, Tuesday making the high week, Wednesday, Thursday offering continuation down into the small daily BISI that exists in there, and this was the weekly BISI that was outlined on the time frame above. There is sell side resting below this swing low right here, and we have now had a clear shift in market structure here. So as long as we remain below this imbalance here on a closing basis, I would continue to look for lower prices and look for price to gravitate down toward the sell side here and equilibrium of that range. So I would just outline this imbalance here on a daily and watch if we do trade back up into there, how does candle closure respect that? Even better for downside would be a failure to reach up into there at all. Okay. NASDAQ, same idea, marking out that range, interested in where we see the monthly closure as of tomorrow. On a weekly basis, you can see that we did as well gravitate down into the weekly BISI here, and we do have more imbalances resting below at a discount of the range. So seeing if there is an effort to get down into there. If we do just see displacement higher out of this, now that we're trading back into what can be viewed as the bullish breaker here, and you do have the series of down close candles as well, we are in a deep premium from this run, and we're trading at all-time highs, so just being aware of that and how that could lead to the possibility of a retracement back into discount. But what I watch for is drop down to the daily and the 4 hour and see if there's an effort to displace higher. If there's not, and we just continue to create new SIBIs to the downside, like this right here, then we can continue to seek a discount of the range. Okay. Daily chart. After today's closure, we did leave with relative equal lows right here. So all I'm looking for as we get into the end of the week is for the likelihood of price gravitating down into the sell side below this low, which if you look up here is 18,545 as a low and sell side liquidity for price to gravitate down to. Now, if we look at the weekly profile, Monday was a market holiday, so you don't see it included in the trading here on TradingView. But if I do go into the lower time frame, and here I'll even clear a little bit of this up. Okay, so this just separates your calendar days. Each of these vertical lines is marking the midnight opening price of each day. And you can see when we're looking for a classic expansion week, you're looking for either a Monday or Tuesday high of week, if bearish, which we are bearish because this was the draw on liquidity down here. Okay, so we're expecting price to gravitate down toward there. You're expecting with a classic expansion week a Monday or Tuesday high week, and then for Wednesday and Thursday to offer continuation toward the draw on liquidity, with Thursday most likely capping the other end of the range. It's okay if Friday continues to trade lower, and it likely will trade below Thursday's low. But since we've had a classic expansion week with Tuesday making the high, expansion all the way through Thursday, and we met the weekly draw being the weekly BISI, that opens up the possibility of a TGIF setup on Friday. So you could take your high to low of the week, just like this, high to low. And of course, if a lower low is made on Friday before a retracement back into the range, this would need to be adjusted to whatever low is made in the overnight session on Friday. But then you can put on TJF settings So looking at 20 to 30% of the range, and you just want to identify premium arrays that exist within that range. So right now, if this low were to hold, which I don't think it will, I think we'll likely go ahead and make another low. But theoretically, if it were to hold right here, you'd be looking at premium arrays within this range. So you have an imbalance right here, and you have the 3 up close candles as a bearish order block here. So you could see if there is some sort of reversal structure and a daily profile between London and New York that supports a move back up into this range. And then, of course, adjust that based on whatever low is made overnight. But you can see how we worked our way down toward the low there. Monday, market holiday. Tuesday, framed the high of the week. Wednesday was expansion. Thursday was the first real high impact news day of the week, which is why, just like we talked about all throughout the course of the week, Thursday was going to be the highest probability day for looking for trades in the market. And you can see that even though we did have a nice expansion on Wednesday, today's price action was really, really clean. So if you're looking at how we reached down to the weekly BISI, which is this shaded area here, the London session initially formed a retracement. So if we were going to expand lower, we'd be looking for a daily profile of a London retracement, New York reversal. So that means when we get to 830, we're looking for some sort of manipulation to take place and then for price to expand lower. And you want to see it reach up into a higher time frame PD array as well. So here in this case, we reached up into the consequent encroachment, the midpoint of this 4-hour SIBI right there. And then also if you drop to a 1-hour chart, we ran right into the opening price of the bearish order block right here. Tapped into that. And if you go to your lower time frames here, just dropping down to a 15-minute, you really don't have to go any lower than this. You can find some clean opportunities on the 5-minute chart, but just starting here, you can see that we do trade up into it. At what time? See down here, 8:30. The news comes out, 8:30 manipulation. We're trading above midnight opening price, so we're at a deep premium, and we're trading in a premium array from a higher time frame. So that's our point of interest. We trade up into it at 8:30, and then right here, this is the confirmation that I look at for a change in state of delivery. Even though technically you just need price trading through the opening price of that down close candle, I prefer to see a closure, okay, which we get right there, and then price trades back up into the bearish order block, and that can provide a sell. This should now be a protected high based on the daily profile. So this can provide a selling opportunity with a stop loss here and targeting the weekly BISI below. We trade down into that, down through the London lows. You see a retracement headed into the lunch hour, and then look at the PM session. When does the PM session begin? Well, it begins at 1, really, but 1:30 is when we start looking for a potential manipulation move to take place, and then for a repricing toward an objective, either liquidity or inefficiency. You can see we fell shy down here of the weekly BISI, so that was still an objective yet to be met. There was also SMT as well. So ES and YM both made a higher high right here, and NASDAQ made a lower high. So NASDAQ was the weakest on the day, and you can see that at 1:30, right there, you trade up above this high, and then last up close candle right here, closing below that opening price again. This can provide another short entry to target the lows. Okay. If you go to a 5-minute, you can have some clear opportunities here as well. 8:30, we trade up, run that high one more time, trade and close through the opening price of that up close candle right there. That's your change in state of delivery. We draw back up into it at 9:30, but this is already our protected high. So anything that happens here just ahead of 9:30, any retracement on this range is viewed as just further manipulation and another selling opportunity. So this is a sell here, this is a sell here, and then we drop at 9:30 and return back up into the bearish order block and the SIBI right here. That's another sell above the 8:30 opening price to draw down into here. And then 1:30, which is here, consolidate for a little bit, manipulate above the high right there, and then again dropping down below. You're closing below that opening price right there, and you have a shift in market structure that can provide a sell right there. Stop above here as your protected high now that it's run by stops already, and then target sell side here and the weekly BISI, and you can hold it down into the close as well for a full expansion day, which was already anticipated just based on the weekly profile. Tuesday, a higher week, Wednesday and Thursday expansion, and then a potential TGIF on Friday. So that kind of covers how you can break down a day like this and frame a couple trade opportunities. I think that should cover it. Otherwise, Carson, any thoughts here? Higher time frame or intraday stuff?
Nope, I'm good. I think tomorrow will be relatively small. We might get like you said, we might get another little leg lower. If not, and even if we do, probably we'll retrace a little bit. I don't see anything crazy going on tomorrow. If you have it up on the week, tomorrow should be a preserve capital day. Trade demo, don't trade at all. Whatever you can and should do, preserve your capital. There's no reason to try to stretch or press tomorrow. Other than that, I'm good.
All right, cool. Then we'll close it up there. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to send us a message, and we'll see you in Discord. Take care, everyone.